What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my Godzilla comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Godzilla Kai-Sei Era issue number 3. This one is written by Tim Seeley with artwork by Nikola Čižmešija, and we're picking up where the last issue left off, where we had our Kai-Sei Era crew basically battling some pirates on a ship where we had those little sandworm leech sea lamprey things that we see are feeding on like the Kai-Sei energy. I think they're called the Yaku or whatever. And we do learn a little bit more about those things, kind of what I was predicting, that they were kind of in some way connected to that giant kaiju looking thing, Lament. And it seems they were synthetic, as we come to find out. So they were created and kind of controlled, which, just kind of what I was thinking. So the Lament's probably creating them, using them to get their energy, and probably like feeding himself or something. That's what we're going to look into with this thing. But we also get some Godzilla action in this thing. We see Godzilla attack Atlanta at some points in there, so it was pretty cool to see him do some attacking on some cities. I don't think we've seen Godzilla in Atlanta before. We've seen him in Florida, seen him in a bunch of other major cities, but not quite Atlanta. And it seems he traveled through some underground tunnels to emerge in this great, huge city, which we get some cool shots of Godzilla right there. I think that shot in particular is the best he's looked, and I do love the green. Like, the green is a nice looking touch there. So meanwhile, our crew is fighting off these things and the pirate guy, and they do manage to kind of take them down. Incense is the one to use his flame pyrotechnic powers to kind of annihilate the threats. We also get some moments of Nuki and Jason, and she's clearly jealous because he's spending time with Rumi. Caught them in the middle of that hug because she clearly likes the guy. She also mentions a little bit of her background about working in the dead zone, and you get a moment there where she's just like, it's the little stuff that actually kills you. So there's a bit of a haunted past I'm sure we'll probably explore in subsequent issues. So they stop these things. Godzilla ends up fighting some sort of mech thing in the middle of the city. It doesn't last very long in terms of the fight, but it kind of made me think, what the hell is this Jaeger looking thing that just kind of popped up out of nowhere? But it is cool to see Godzilla wipe something out and actually get some fighting done in this issue, because it's a Godzilla comic book. I'd like to see Godzilla do some fighting. That's something I really enjoy, obviously. But yeah, so he leaves. We come to find out that he was looking for those little sea lamprey looking Yakumama things or whatever, the dune sandworms. There's so many different names to kind of call them, but think of them as like the dune sandworms, although they can survive in water, and the sandworms of doom definitely cannot. So they go there. The crew ends up going to one of these British territories and dropping the stuff off with the pirates and all that too. But the pirates, Riviera ends up letting them go because the British territory, like, the people there make him frustrated. So he's going to go investigate the source of where these things are at. He's going to take Incense and Nuki with him, and Rumi is going to go with Jason and Jet Jaguar to kind of cut off Godzilla. So she's going to train him to learn how to fight Godzilla because she utilizes like pressure points and other various things in that too. So Jet Jaguar also showcases his ability to kind of grow and stuff. And the thing that kind of surprised me too is like he keeps them like closed off in like his hand. Aren't they going to need to be able to breathe, or is he just going to every so often, okay, we're running out of air here, resurface? They just like go inside of Jet Jaguar and just kind of like look through like his head there or something like that? Or does he, like, there's other functions, like kind of like a Megazord of sorts, or even a Jaeger to kind of block out the water and stuff too? No? Didn't think so. It's kind of one of those strange things, but she also gives a little bit of her background in that too, and how she was able to kind of fight off kaijus and the struggles and all that. We also see that a little bit of a cameo from Rodan, because she showcases the kaijus have different pressure points that you can kind of almost push them into a bit of a different direction and kind of steer them into a different like path, kind of guide them someplace else. And so not necessarily to kill, but to kind of push them away. And with his powers and her training, they should be able to kind of stop Godzilla, is what she's getting at. So, and we also get a sneak peek of what's going to happen in the next issue. So, you can see Riviera, Nuki, and Incense are going to go get to the bottom and create these little leeches, and Rumi and them are going to have to go off and use these techniques against Godzilla. But it also teases the arrival of Lament, the giant kaiju thing. So they're going to hopefully figure out what's going on with him and all that too. Or I think it's a him, or I don't know. It's just Lament's the giant kaiju thing. So the one that can talk. So I like to theorize. And again, I don't know too much, but I'm kind of imagining that Lament might be kind of a Rampage sort of situation, where if you remember the original like Rampage video games, I think Rampage 2, where the monsters were people who were turned into these different creatures. And maybe that's the case with Lament, because he can speak, in it seemingly talk like a human. So there's that it has going for it. I think, like I said, if we kind of explored that idea, it would be kind of interesting because we've already seen human hybrid, like kaiju hybrids within the Dead Zone thing. And maybe that's going to be the case with this Lament figure because we've only seen Lament very briefly at the end of the first issue when it talked and it's just kind of a freaky, what the hell kind of moment. So having that as like your big giant villain could make things a little bit interesting. And I want to see Godzilla clash and, of course, kick this thing's ass. But we don't know the full extent of its powers because it seems to take these Yakumama synthetic things to kind of siphon off some of that Kai-Sei energy and just kind of use it to feed and make itself more powerful. And Godzilla's obviously trying to seek these things out and try to stop them before they, cause more problems for him because that's just what Godzilla tends to do. So, yeah, overall consensus, I did like this issue. I think it is slightly improving a little bit more. We got some Godzilla action, some much-needed Godzilla action in there. I don't think this is the best thing IDW has done, even with the 3 series kind of going subsequently with each other. Like, what was the word I'm looking for? Simultaneously, subsequently. What am I doing? So, I don't know. I just a little tired, I guess. But, yeah, so because like IDW does some other stuff, like what was it that I just covered? Godzilla Here There Be Aliens. That to me was like the best series that IDW had done in recent memory. I thought that was fantastic. And this one, it's getting better, but it's a different kind of Godzilla storyline. It's this whole shared universe, and we're expanding it like as we kind of go about with each thing. So that's kind of interesting. We also learn a little tidbits that it seems that USA kind of separated cut itself off, I think, from the rest of the world. I don't remember that in the first 2 issues. I might have missed something there. I have to go back and look. But so we get a little bit more insight into that. So they cut themselves off. What's the history of all that? So there could be some interesting stuff at play right there. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all unfolds in subsequent issues. So, but anyways, what did you all think of this? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Hit that bell for notifications. I got some other books that I'm going to be talking about soon, but I still need to read them. They're 2 DC books. There's Absolute Batman, latest issue, and then, of course, DC KO issue number 1, which I still haven't read yet. But I'm going to try and get to reading those after I post this thing, and yeah, should be fun. But anyways, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.